So, good afternoon, everyone. This is Rebecca with Red True Crime. Um, this will be my official pilot video podcast or videography. I don't know what the heck you call it, but I'm new to this world. So, I've always had a huge interest in true crime. I follow quite a few series about a lot like what I'm about to put out there, and personally, I know someone will say, well, aren't there so many? But I don't think there's enough because the more people out there bringing light to these situations, people missing, people being murdered, crimes unsolved, crimes that have been solved that you can learn from and make sure that it doesn't happen again. I think there's always going to be a need for that. So, um, to get into this, I am a widow. I have three adult kids. Um, and I just kind of fell into this whereas I had more time to devote to things I was interested in. I'm also a historical document preservationist. That's what I do for work. So I always see a lot of mystery in everything I do. So it fuels me. So the first case I'd like to talk about is a local one here. I am in the Greensboro, North Carolina area, and this case started about 2 weeks ago. A case of Marissa Carmichael, 25-year-old woman from High Point, North Carolina, mother of five, and she's been missing. Uh, Over the last 2 weeks, I've been involved in some of the discussion groups on Facebook, trying to speculate, maybe come up with some ideas about where to look and what to think about this whole situation. And the more and more I look into it, the more and more it just becomes such an unfortunate set of circumstances for her. Um, Single mom. She already had some domestic violent cases going on in her life to the point where she did not have access to her children, which is sad. Um, she was working at a Waffle House in High Point, but it appears, and again, please, I want to keep it to the facts, but there is a lot of overwhelming evidence showing that she was involved in another lifestyle. Um, Dancing for money, which may be prostitution. It's a little hairy, and I hate to throw labels on things, but it looks like that's where this is going. Um, there have been multiple people mentioned throughout her case that were involved with her that night. Her best friend, a gentleman that she was hanging out with at a club, and then another gentleman she met up with after the club because she got abandoned at a gas station in downtown Greensboro at the Exxon, and she got in the car with him and they took off, and that was the end of that. Um, so let's break that down a little bit. She has a friend. I'm gonna. I hate to throw out names, so I'm not gonna do that. So I'm gonna just call her Nikki. Her friend Nikki and she went to left her house and she went to a club in downtown Greensboro. For some odd reason, she and Nikki got separated, and she ended up leaving that club with another man. Let's call him Jack. And Jack and she went to a private party at an Airbnb not too far from the club. Situation comes up, either an altercation between she and Jack or an altercation between her and someone else at this party, but she and Jack leave. And he directs her to the Exxon gas station, which is approximately about 2 minutes away from where the party was. Tells her to get out of the car, go in the store, get some stuff. While she's in the store, he takes off. Leaves, with her phone and everything, so she has no way of getting a hold of anybody. Now, here's where we get into things that have been confirmed. She did call 911 from the gas station. There is an audio out there. It basically states that, she's been robbed, she doesn't know where she is, and she needs help. So she makes this call, and she's waiting, and then this other gentleman, and we'll call him Steve, shows up. She knows him. He offers her a ride, either home or just get her out of the gas station. I'm not sure what he promised her. But she uses his phone to call other people to say, hey, I need you to get a hold of guy that dropped me off and get my phone back because I have no way of getting home. Not one person actually facilitated this. Her father, her friend that she got separated with from the club. I mean, she called a few people from this gentleman's phone, and they had conversations, but nothing ever came out of it. Now, Steve is the last actual person to have seen her that night because she ran off with him. This is approximately around 4 o'clock in the morning. Actually, later than that, maybe 4:30, because the Greensboro Police Department didn't show up till about 40 minutes after she called for 911, and it was about 4:45 by the time they showed up at the gas station, and she was already gone. Um, so they've been looking, search parties, the news crews. Um, she's even made people.com onlines in their true crime. Her story has, because it is heartbreaking. You've got a young woman of mixed race who is most likely, her case is not being taken too seriously because she's of mixed race, which is a darn shame. It shouldn't matter what your race is. Shouldn't matter that you're a single mom. Shouldn't matter that you might be a prostitute. None of these things should matter. If you're missing, you're missing. And they need to find you. It's also been speculated that maybe, just maybe, she decided to kind of just disappear on her own. But the other side of that is she's always been in contact with her mother, and her mother has never gone this long without hearing from her. So there you have that. So that kind of negates that possibility. Um, I've even speculated that maybe if she is no longer with us, she may not be in Greensboro. She may have been disposed of in High Point, Archdale, Ashboro, Winston, Salem, Kernersville, because where she went missing from, that gas station is minutes away from an interstate. And that interstate can take you to any one of those places I just mentioned in 20 minutes. And it's a very, very country rural areas. So she has gone and been put somewhere else. They need to kind of open up the area a little bit in searching, in my opinion. But the other thing that's been speculated is that the guy that she left with, Steve, was stalking her. Police don't seem to be too concerned about that, and honestly, she got in a car with him, so I'm not. Obviously, she wasn't afraid of him either. Um, so there's a lot of things being thrown out there on the internet. If you happen to go to any of the Find Marissa Carmichael pages, or there's a crime discussion page that focuses on this, you're going to see a lot of unhappy people throwing a lot of mud at a lot of other people, and vice versa. Try to sift through the speculation from the fact, and fact from the speculation. Do what you can. It is a bit overwhelming, and it's a lot of no, this person wasn't even there, or no, this person is there, or then 10 other people get injected in that you didn't know even existed in the first place. So there's a lot of that. And, but one thing's for certain, we have not had one word from the Greensboro Police Department. They have not said anything outside of the initial press release. We are looking for this person. She is 25. She looks like she has a couple face tattoos, one of a butterfly and one of a heart on her face. She's about 5'2" and goes about 250 pounds. And she was wearing a white t-shirt with a floral design, bright yellow Nikes, and jeans. That's all you hear in these reports. Nothing else. Not that they're talking to anybody, not that they have any leads. But again, if it's an open investigation, an ongoing investigation, they're not going to release that to the public. But it might be good for them to at least put a face out there and say, hey, we are taking this seriously and we are looking. We just can't really further discuss the case outside of this. It would be nice. I think that would give more confidence to the people um, out there trying to risk their lives trying to find her. Because we've had some very, very cold weather, and people were out there in the elements looking for her. And I will say this, Marissa, if you truly have absconded and want to be alone, reach out to somebody and let them know, please. Because you've got a lot of people worried about you, and you got a lot of people looking at other people kind of crazy. So, a word from you would kind of clear a lot of this up. But just know I'm a mother. I have 3 kids. They're adults now, but still, um, your mom's always going to want to see you no matter what. Your children are always going to want to see you no matter what. So if you are out there, please come home because they need you. They all need you. And there's hope out there for you to get your life on the path that it needs to be. There is hope. Never doubt that. So, but I'll upload these videos about this case and maybe other cases a couple times a week if I have time. But that's the goal, is to get the word out there, especially on cases that are not being really looked at. And hers in the beginning was not being really looked at. So the family should be very proud, and her friends should be very proud for pushing the envelope and just sticking it to the man and say, hey, you will discuss this, you will look for her, you will do these things, because that's what matters. People here, you know, are pushing for you, and they're not going to stop looking. So this message goes out to Marissa. If you're out there, come home. If you're being held by somebody, person you know that they're looking for, let her go. Let her come home. Nothing's worth this. So, but that's all I got for now. And like I said, if you all go and investigate this at all on your own, just remember there's a lot of really angry people out there and a lot of people slinging some stuff. So just do your best to separate the fact from the speculation. It's a lot. It's a lot of speculation. So, if you have any questions, drop me a line. Um, but yeah, like I said, she needs to be found. All of the people missing need to be found. And like I said, I'll be bringing up other cases as time goes on, but this is the one that's going on right now. So have a great day, everybody, and stay safe.